Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about The Flash and the potential replacement that could be the next actor to play The Flash in the DCU. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down this Screen Rant article which is titled Ezra Miller's The Flash replacement is the closest it has ever been. This is an article that I saw about 9 days ago, I believe, when the article came out, and I thought it would make a good video to break down, and we're going to be breaking it down finally today, and I feel like I got a lot of thoughts and opinions on this. Obviously we've covered The Flash and like theorizing who could be The Flash, is it going to be Grant Gustin or what? Well, this article kind of breaks it down, and this is after some big news that came out a week or so ago, which we talked about, which was the DC crime TV show that is going to be starring Jimmy Olsen. So we're going to talk about that and The Flash in this video. So stick around guys, because I think this is a good one. So this is how the article goes. The Flash could come back to the DC universe in the near future, with Ezra Miller's replacement now having the perfect project to debut in. Miller played Barry Allen in the DCEU movie franchise. However, the actor's time in the role was divisive, leading to 2023's Flash movie, which became one of the biggest superhero movie box office bombs. After a string of controversies over a couple of years, Miller could not make The Flash break even. With a reported budget of around $220 million, the film needed to gross at least $440 million to $550 million to not lose money. Sadly, The Flash ended its theatrical run with $271 million. Now, the DCU's Chapter 1 has the perfect project to reboot the hero. So let's quickly go over this. So yes, The Flash, obviously it's always been super successful over on TV since Grant Gustin played the role. The Flash TV show was super popular and it did well over 9 seasons, and it had a huge part to play in building the Arrowverse, which was DC's most successful universe. I feel like we can say that now, because the DCU definitely wasn't as successful or as loved as the Arrowverse, and The Flash had a big part to play in that. And so naturally people were super excited, just like myself, to see the Flash film, because we'd not seen a Flash film before and this was like a big deal. However, obviously all of us had our reservations about Ezra Miller just because Grant Gustin was so good. Like, who else can play the Flash? And that is really the question that we all have going into this DCU, because when you think of Barry Allen now, yes, you might think of the comic book Barry Allen with blonde hair and everything, but when you think Barry Allen in live action, you instantly go to Grant Gustin. And every fan I ask about this, like, they're like, no, you can't cast anyone new, it has to be Grant Gustin. That's because he's become the definitive version of the Flash in live action. So yes, Ezra's film didn't do well, didn't perform well, and like, for me, I enjoyed the film, but I think it had its problems, especially with not going full Flashpoint. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Not including Reverse Flash was a missed opportunity, and I think the cameos were a big deal to Flash fans like myself, because why would you not include Grant Gustin? That was just like the icing on the cake, and also like the CGI wasn't great in the film. But let's continue with this article. So the next part goes like this: with Ezra Miller and the rest of 2017's Justice League cast reportedly out of their roles in the DCU, The Flash could join James Gunn's DCU in a recently announced series. A Superman spin-off show focused on Jimmy Olsen, which we talked about last week, is in the works at DC, titled DC Crime. While Jimmy Olsen is not a character that one directly associates with The Flash, the main villain of the Superman spin-off is, and the series, reportedly dubbed DC Crime, will follow Jimmy Olsen and other Daily Planet reporters as they tackle cases involving superpower villains, with Gorilla Grodd being the spotlight for season 1, and obviously we all know Grodd is a well-known villain of The Flash. We saw that in the Arrowverse. Grodd appeared many times throughout The Flash, but also appeared on Legends of Tomorrow. Like, he was a big deal. And based on Grodd's confirmed DCU debut in live action, he did appear in Creature Commandos, Ezra Miller's Flash replacement could easily also appear in the Jimmy Olsen series. After all, a hero should be needed to put Grodd away at the end of the season, and you have to admit, I don't think Jimmy Olsen's going to be taking down Grodd himself or any of the Daily Planet members, so they may need some superpowered help after all. And maybe that could be like the gimmick in the show where it's like, okay, we have one season where we take down this Flash villain, let's have Flash come in and help us at the end. We do the investigations and the superpowered superhero takes them down at the very end, and it's like a cameo thing, and it's a really, really big deal to the DC fandom. And then maybe the next season they go for a different villain from another comic book character and their rogues gallery, and that character appears to help Jimmy Olsen. So while David Corenswet's Superman could also make a cameo in the season finale, having the DCU Flash debut to apprehend Grodd would be pitch perfect. So now this is me talking. I feel like this could be a great opportunity. I have previously said that I think introducing Wally West could be an idea for the Teen Titans films that is going to be coming at some point in the future. Don't know exactly when, but that feels like the perfect opportunity to introduce Wally West. But if they want to go Barry Allen or another version of the Flash, I feel like, yeah, this could be a good entryway, because you need to kind of lead up to whatever Flash film or TV show that they're going to do eventually down the line. Like, you have to admit, they're going to do one at some point. It's just a matter of time, and they don't want to rush into it. James Gunn has said he's going to take a beat before developing a Flash project, but that is because of the failures of that film, and that's nothing against, like, the Flash as a character, because the Flash is a great character. I think a lot of people have interest in him, but it's like, I don't think many people had interest in that film and Ezra Miller specifically. But let's move on with this. What plays against the Flash's possible DCU debut in the Jimmy Olsen Superman spin-off series is that James Gunn previously claimed that DC is taking a beat on developing when it comes to the Flash, as I just said. And after Ezra Miller's Flash movie bombed, it's easy to see why this might be the case. However, plans change, and it could have happened at DC. After all, we have to just look at everything that's happened with the DCU so far. Like, the schedule is changing completely, and it seems we're getting a lot more kind of James Gunn Superman orientated projects. We've got DC Crime, obviously Supergirl is a separate thing. We've got the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow, and people have actually been complaining about that recently, that James Gunn is kind of going for the easier projects. Like, people see Jimmy Olsen's show as an easier project rather than like tackling Batman, Wonder Woman, let's say a Green Arrow show or a Green Arrow film or something. Like, those should be really his priorities, building this universe rather than just having like a Superman universe. And so fans have been actually complaining about this a lot recently. So it would be great if they actually took a step back and actually developed those like big projects, because I feel like that's kind of what people want to see. But let's continue with this for now. If not, then the studio could always wait longer to recast Barry Allen using Wally West as the DCU's main version of the Flash for now, and that would give the franchise its own speedster that differs from Miller's. Wally could also open the door for a new actress to play Iris West in the DCU if Wally shows up, setting the stage for Barry's eventual debut as the Flash. So let me know down in the comments below, do you want to see Wally West first? Do you want to see Barry Allen first? Do you want to see Jay Garrick first? Like, who are you guys saying we should introduce as the Flash in the DCU first? I feel like it would be great to have both Barry and Wally, because that was always great in the TV show. And I think, honestly, and I know I said this before, but you just gotta go Grant Gustin for Barry Allen, and whether it's linked to the Arrowverse or not, doesn't matter as long as he's playing Barry, because as I said at the start of this video, people see him as the definitive Barry Allen. But with Wally West, I feel like you got more leniency, because yes, Keenan Lonsdale was great as Wally West, but he didn't play him like nearly as much as Grant played the Flash, and I feel like Grant is just a bit more settled. So if they want to do a new Wally West, like, do that, introduce him. As I said, doesn't need to be Barry that appears in DC Crime with Grodd, it could be Wally West. And as this article's main point is, this could be the perfect project to introduce one of them, but it doesn't matter what version of the Flash it is. I feel like I would maybe go for Wally, just introduce a new version of the Flash, kind of let DCU fans get used to that, and then go with the big bang and actually introduce once again Grant Gustin as the Flash, as Barry Allen sometime in the future, as they wait a beat on development on say a film or a TV show. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe and turn on notifications. We are uploading lots at the moment, so stick around and watch all the videos, no matter if it's like your favorite project or it's just like some other characters that you guys are kind of interested in. Please watch the videos, I really appreciate it. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.